Okay, so I want to say a little while ago, probably like a few months ago, a streamer by the name of Almond X Joy on Twitch, and one of her friends, Chaos, had decided to pop in to my stream one time. He proposed that I should make a Joy theme song. I kind of thought about it for a second. I was like, you know what? I could probably make this into a song. Let me see. So here we are today. I wanted to make this project a little bit, I guess in a way, like, not dark, but like, not like cheerful and happy either. She's a VTuber. She describes herself as a virtual cat girl, here to bring a bit of joy to your day. Joy, fun, pastel color, which is not what I've made this project. So the introduction is a mix of a bass, like, let me just play it for you. So what I've done is I've went into Serum. I've made myself a kick drum. It is a little clicky, and that would have to do with the noise. I added a transient, or when I exported it and I put it into a drum rack, it's kind of rounded out. I added a drum bus, a transient shaper, and an EQ to kind of get rid of like the awkward midtone. Added a little bit of treble, so it sounds like this. Anyway, so I've added an external instrument that sends a MIDI signal over to this group right here, which is tied to a shaper box. So I have it set to sidechain the whatever kick I've made, so that way I can see how I should design the shaper box, the sidechaining and whatnot. With that, let me show you the bases. So these parts right here, if I disable the shaper box, what this one is a serum patch. It starts off with a saw. I've added a bunch of unison, detuned it marginally more than the default, and then I've adjusted the envelope so it lasts like 16 seconds. Made another envelope, put it over to the filter, so without the filter it's just, and then with the filter I added another saw wave, added more unison, set it to, I'm gonna say that's 19 semitones up from the original note. I added a sub, then I added distortion, reverb, and a compressor, or a multi-band compressor, and then now it sounds like this. I went and made a sub bass in Serum 2 again. Really long envelope again, but this time it's a little short. It's long. It's still a long envelope, but it's still not like 16 seconds. It's more like 5 seconds. And then I added another envelope that changes the drive and the distortion, and then another envelope that, if it'll, that ties to the noise. And then I've also added it as an aux source for oscillator A. So just a sine wave, add a noise, and then use the oscillator to alternate, or to kind of oscillate the noise volume as well. So it kind of has like that. And then I done added a distortion, so it sounds like this. And then I took 3 vocal loops from a cymatics pack, then I transposed them, so it sounds like this. An OTT, Valhalla, and an EQ. So lastly, I added some cinematic drums. So together it sounds like this. It goes from this sub bass to this bass right here that I've made in Vital. Kind of a square, like. Added an EQ to remove the harsher, higher frequencies. Added a filter that did exactly the opposite of what I wanted it to do. I'm sure that makes sense. And then I've added a limiter. I added 2 leads, both of them made, and one of them was made in Serum 2, and then the other one was made in Serum. I don't know why I did that, but I did it that way. So the Serum 2 patch sounds, I did the same thing with the Serum patch. I added an EQ after the fact to tune out the lower frequencies. Just a couple build-up loop, or a couple fills.
Tomorrow.
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 It's tomorrow.
No, it's tomorrow.
And then we get to the drop. Simple. I want to say simple, but yeah, I'm going to say simple. There's the second kick that I use, apart from this one, that also has an external instrument that ties to the other shaper box. And then, of course, I use this one. Or I use this hi-hat, this ride, this clap. I just like the clickiness that it has with these two, and I use it a lot in other songs, but this one in particular I really liked. Then there's the bass. Added this one, just a little. This serum patch I have it called Krakatoa. It's probably a saw wave, in which oscillator B oscillates to the level 4 oscillator A without the oscillator, with the oscillator. Then I added a sub. I don't know why I added a sub, but it's there. It's set to direct out to, which, you know, I'm going to disable that. And then, of course, I have this oscillator C set to, I'm going to say that's, instead of 19, I'm going to say that's 31. I might be correct on that. I was right. It's 31 semitones over the original no beam played. I forgot what it's called. I don't think it's called the perfect fifth, but is it? What is? So fifth note is G, making it to C to G is a perfect fifth. Oh, I guess it is a perfect fifth. Anyway, so with that aside, the noise level for the Geiger. Oh, that's why I needed the sub. The sub bass acts as a fourth oscillator to modulate the Geiger counter noise. Oh yeah, there's a notch filter that goes to oscillators A and B, and then the Geiger counter noise goes to filter 2, which has a diffuser filter on it. I just kind of did it. I did it randomly, and I did it until it sounded good. So the Geiger counter kind of sounds like this. Would you imagine? It sounds excellent. Sounds harsh. I don't really like it that harsh. Alright, the next patch is another serum flavor patch. I call these flavor packs because it really adds nothing to the overall bass, except for like it makes a bit greater overall sound. So it's a flavor pack. Kind of like how geek bars are different. Never mind. This one is called Chest and Tries because I did this on Chest and Try Day. Wouldn't you guess? This one starts off with a blue screen of death square wave that has a phase distortion that's modulated by LFO1. LFO1 modulates phase distortion, and then the wave position for this wave table, it doesn't sound like anything. Its main purpose is to be the phase distortion for the square wave, so it sounds like this. So the noise isn't modulated by anything, it's there just to add like a higher end. So without all the effects, it kind of sounds like this. The LFO's third purpose is to modulate the filter. Right, it's just a 6 decibel low pass. Sounds like this. Anyway, and then there's this serum patch, which I did keep the bass in, but I EQ'd out the high end and the 100 hertz area. This one is a serum patch from Sounds Like KSHMR Volume 1. Without the EQ, it sounds like this. With the EQ, it sounds like this. I called this the Fent folder sub. Don't ask me why I named it that. I just named it that way. Anyway, all together with the shaper box disabled, it sounds like this. I took a cymatics vocal loop, threw it into a simpler, and then I set it to slice. I think that's what this serum patch also does too. It acts as the body for the vocoder that I've added. So this one is not playing anything. That's right, because in order for it to play anything, the synth has to be playing as well. So it sounds like this. So this is how it sounds by itself. And then there's the vocoder. I could have theoretically used an auto shift, but that would have sounded weird. I kind of like the vocoder effect a lot better. All right, EQ'd out like this specific part of the frequency spectrum. Just a little bit of harsher sound that I wanted to tune out. And then I added a Valhalla Vintage Verb. These are the settings. I love Valhalla Vintage Verb. Valhalla Vintage Verb is so good. Added a really long feedback delay, and it sets a ping pong like this. Then I added a kickstart. Isn't triggered by MIDI or audio, it's just by the BPM that I have it set to, 120 BPM. I've thought about making it a higher BPM, but oh well.
I think I'm about to steal!
So then it goes to the mid drop part, or it goes to like the in between like drop part, if I remember correctly. It's a plucky bass, and then this is a serum patch. I think this is also a pluck. I really like this patch. I don't know why I didn't save it, but I really like it. And then in Serum 2, what I've done is I've made a kind of like, you remember Lights by Ellie Goulding? Like that little sign pluck, like bing, 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 bing. Let me play it for you. Kind of like, you know what I mean? I recreated it in Serum because I really liked how that sound is. Because if I remember correctly, Lights, Ellie Goulding, BPM and key. Lights by Ellie Goulding is exactly in G sharp minor, and it sounds really good. So I thought something similar to that, but not quite exact. I wanted the sound, not the exact, like, you know, sequence. You know, I thought it sounded really good. I wanted to keep it, so I kept it. And then we're back to this stupid thing right here. But this time, what it's doing now is it has an auto filter that's cutting it off over time, along with these vocals that came back. And then what I've done is I've added my own vocals. I kind of wanted to get the ethnic vibe, you know what I mean? That actually gave this bass line I give this bass a little bit more purpose. I cut out the lower frequencies so that way this bass could take over, and then I gave it an actual like line. So this bass kind of took over the lower end. I went like this with the Vox. Believe it or not, I actually added a piano for, let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna copy it so that way I don't lose the original. This one is gonna be green. Can't remember if it's this one. I don't think it was that one. Oh, I think it was Pokemon. Yeah, it was. So I got the sound font for Pokemon Black and White, and I got Piano 2, that patch. Gave it the Plucky Pluck sequence. This is the point in the project where I kind of made it take a different direction. So I didn't want to give it that like ethnic ethereal sound, but I also wanted it to just be like, I wanted it to have a purpose. It's around this time when I really started like thinking about it more, and I was like, you know, female Twitch streamers and female VTubers no less, they kind of tend to attract the wrong people on accident. The people that I'm referring to are the people that have parasocial tendencies. When I made this, I kind of wanted it to play into like the parasocial vibe. I wanted it to be like, okay, so why does this sound dark? If this is going to be Joy's theme song, why does it sound dark and not what Joy is as a person? Because I've talked to Joy. She's a really nice person. I thought she's pretty cool. I'm not necessarily referring to her specifically, but more so female streamers and VTuber streamers. No less female VTuber streamers. Female streamers have it bad, VTuber streamers have it bad, and it's really not their fault, right? It's just a matter of like, you know, people having the wrong kind of, you know, and like the wrong kind of mindset whenever they watch these streams. So I kind of wanted to play into that a little bit, kind of send a message like, this is exactly what a person who is in this position would do. I want to make this from the perspective of a parasocial kind of person and kind of play into that a little bit. So with the lyrics I wrote down is, you take me far away, you strip me from reality, I never intended to stay, but I can't see myself going back to being alone. There's a respace that comes in at this time, so it sounds like this. I thought it sounded pretty good, so I kept it. This is also where I bring in the clap and the hi-hat, and then added a reverb, empty club. Hey. I thought I removed you. Get out of here. Then it gets back into the build-up. And then I get crazy with the drums and the bass line a little bit. It's still the same bass as before, except for this part right here. This one, I believe this one's called the wow 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 patch. Reason being because when I set it to a low register and I play a note, yeah, you get what I'm saying. No. I added another serum preset, kind of like as a Hoover, so it sounds like it has to be a high register. Not that too much. There you go. And the pitch is also modulated. And then between these two parts, this is the normal part, and then this is the crazy part. I added another sound font. I think this one is the Mario Party DS, the Celesta, which is, it sounds like this. Kind of like that. That's what it sounds like. I can't remember what this one is. Oh yeah, this is a Steel Drums one. I didn't choose this one. I just kind of went with the this one because it sounded cute, or it's just a teensy bit like, you know, this is the only part of the project that kind of resembles Joy. And then I added an 808 kit, just a short little fill, just so it kind of sounds like this. So with all of that set, it's time to finally play the whole project. Now, I must say, I did have quite a bit of fun making this whole thing. I want to say, Joy, she's a really nice person. I'm gonna leave a link to her Twitch account in the description. I'm just gonna just a little bit under where the video is, under the sub button. I'm gonna be like every other like core YouTuber. Make sure to punch that like button and subscribe. And with that being said, it is time to play the final project.
Bye.